am audible. Okay, let's get going then. So we're going to answer some very basic questions about emotions today. I think there are a lot of myths about emotions that we need to burst as well. It's extremely essential for us to pay attention to these emotions because they do rule us at times, and they do kind of impact the decision making that we do. They do impact also the kind of relationships we get into. So there is a lot of impact that emotions can have. So let's begin with answering the very first question, which is, what are emotions in the first place? What do you mean by emotions? So I'll pause. What are your questions? What are your thoughts on emotions? What are emotions? So add your points there. Just drop a line. What do you think are emotions? Okay, I'm waiting. Hi Manish, thanks for joining. Amit, I tried to add you to the video. Are you able to get on? It still shows adding for me. Okay, anybody wants to take a shot at the question, what are emotions? It's an outburst, okay? Emotion is an outburst. Hi Manish, thanks for joining. What else? What else is an emotion? Anyone else wants to share? What do you think is an emotion? Thanks, Sony. Our feelings. It's cry from the heart or soul. Good one, Chandra. Good one. It's a cry from the heart or soul. These are your emotions. Okay? Your feelings. Thanks, Manish. Emotions are our feelings. Hi, Pradeep. Thanks for joining. Okay, so let me talk about emotions then. What are emotions? First, many of you said it very rightly. Feelings that tell us our response to a particular situation or a particular circumstance. So these are our feelings that are telling us how should we behave, how should we act in a particular situation or a circumstance. That's your emotion. Okay, now also, neurologically speaking, emotions is a way of the brain to connect between our emotional memories, our analytical thinking brain, and our executive or decision making brain. So there are different parts in the brain as well. So executive brain is right here. It is also called the prefrontal cortex. We have the emotional brain right at the back. That's our most ancient brain. That's where we developed it slowly from. And then we have somewhere down there, we also have an emotional memory brain. Emotional memory is where all your emotions, everything that you go through, whatever those situations, those circumstances make you feel, those get stored in your emotional memory brain. So a connection between your emotional memory, your prefrontal cortex and your analytical brain is what emotions really do. It's neurologically, that's what happens inside your brain. So every time something is happening to us, there is a memory from the past that is stored in my emotional brain that is sent to the executive brain that's in the prefrontal cortex, and my data analysis, all of that is also sent from my thinking brain, from my analytical brain to my prefrontal cortex. So when my prefrontal cortex, my executive brain is then looking at the data, it's looking at the past experiences, and then I'm able to make decisions. That's what happens really in my head. You can watch more of this. All this concept is from emotional intelligence. I spoke about this earlier as well in one of my earlier videos. It is from emotional intelligence. The book is written by Dr. Daniel Goleman, amazing, amazing person. If you find on YouTube, you'll find numerous videos, multiple videos, and I'll try and bring these videos also to you multiple in the upcoming sessions. Okay, who else is joining? Dolly. Hi, Doll. Nice to see you here. Ravi, thank you for joining. Nitesh, thanks for joining. Hi, Amy. Hi, Manish again. Verma, thanks for joining. Now, if I have to put the definition of emotions in the most simple manner, and I think, Chandra, you brought this up earlier. Emotions are the communication that your mind is sending to your body. It's the communication between your brain and your body. And this communication is extremely essential. Okay. So my next question is, Why are emotions important? So I'll pause again, and I want you all to answer this question next. So why are emotions important? Hi Usha, nice to have you here. All right, start putting your answers to why are emotions important. Hello Manish, thanks for joining. I'm waiting for responses on why are emotions important. Hi Dash, thanks for joining. So yeah, we have spoken about what are emotions. We have given some structure to the definition of emotions. Now we are moving on to the next question to understand why are these important? What job do they really do? Chandre, they are required for our survival. Very well. Manish, very well said. To balance our feelings, extremely essential to balance our feelings. Very, very good. What else? It expresses us, it helps us to communicate as well. It helps us to communicate, so we are able to choose which emotion do I want to emote in a particular circumstance as well, right? Okay, so simple answers to this question can be: one, it really makes us human. This is one big difference between many animals and us. Now there are a lot of mammals who also have the developed brain, not just the primitive brain. They also have, most mammals have the developed brain as well, but human beings have a more developed emotional brain as well. Okay. Sailaja, to have a balance. Amit, to live in the world, we humans are emotional fools. We are just emotional beings, let's say that. Okay, thanks Amit. Anshika, it helps us to take actions. Absolutely. Sailaja, expression of our feelings. Dolly says it makes you a human. Absolutely. So first, it makes us human. So emotions are extremely essential. That means we should never run away from emotions, never shy away from emotions. It's extremely critical for us. It's extremely important for us. Okay, we have some more responses there. Sony says it helps us to live in this world, and Anshika says it helps us also to take decisions. Absolutely. Your emotions are going to guide you, they are your guiding light as well. So, taking a cue from what Anshika said, it actually also signals us what actions to take. So, if I am angry, if I have the emotion of anger, then it will tell me what do I need to do next. If I have an emotion of sorrow, then it will tell me what do I do next. If I'm happy, then I'll be able to, really be able to decide, make some decisions on what next steps do I want to take. Manish says feeling love sacrificing. Okay, Manish, you'll have to tell me more about that. That doesn't explain what you want to say really. Now, emotions also help us to have a flight or fight response. So when we have these emotions, we are able to understand whether I should stay in this circumstance, whether I should stick to this situation and I should fight, or whether I should run away. Okay, so I'm going to pause now and and wait for you to tell me. Give me one emotion and tell me how it helps. Okay, so for example, fear is going to keep me safe. The emotion of fear is going to keep me safe whenever I am in a let's say there is a danger zone, or there is fire, or there is some sharp object. The fear of getting hurt will keep me safe. It will ensure that I am cautious. That's the purpose, or that's the use of the emotion fear. So choose one emotion and tell me what does it do. Okay. Hi Zena, thanks for joining. Very nice to see you here. Hi Rima, thanks for joining. Okay, so I'm waiting. Pick up one emotion and tell me why is it useful. Different brains, fight, our flight. Okay, Chandra, you'll have to tell me more on that. Does it have to be a positive or negative emotion? Emotions are never positive or negative. Emotions are just emotions, and every emotion has a purpose to it. That's all. That's what we need to understand really. So there is no positive or negative emotion. Dolly, that was answer to your question. Being happy, great. So Amit, being happy, how does it help you? The emotion of happiness, what is the use of it? Hi Himanshi, thanks for joining. Okay, anybody else wants to take a shot? I gave the example that fear, for example, hi Meenu, thanks for joining. The emotion of fear, for example, keeps me cautious. It ensures that I don't hurt myself unnecessarily, right? So that's the use of the emotion of fear. Any other emotion that you can think about and what its use is? Okay, nobody there unless someone is typing. Fight and flight, both to protect us, fight to protect us or someone or something we love, and flight when we know it's wiser to run. Absolutely. Come back and fight another day. Very good, very well said. So yeah, both are important, and that is what emotions help us do. When we have that emotional memories, when we have that emotional wisdom, that emotional maturity to make these decisions, that's when we'll be able to decide whether we should stay, whether we should fight the situation, or whether we should take a flight from there, we should move away from there. Okay, Ahmed, being happy makes us forget all our worries around. Yes, it makes, and it is very good for health, by the way. Being happy releases specific hormones that actually make our well-being hormones. They actually are very good for your health as well. Emotion of love build our family strong in bad situations. Yeah, so if you have emotion of love towards somebody, it's more of emotion of belongingness, that helps you come together, that helps you stick together, stay there for each other. Dolly, worry, I would say worry, because it helps you not only protect yourself but your loved one. Absolutely, when you're worried, it helps you, that emotion also has a purpose. It helps you to be cautious again, it helps you to analyze more, it helps you to look at multiple pros and cons before you make a decision if you're worried. So you're extremely cautious again if you're worried, and that will help not just you but everybody around you. Second one is flight. Okay, sure, got it. All right, like mothers worrying about their children, but I think not too much. Okay, is relief and emotion. Contentment can be an emotion or a feeling. Failed to explain what we exactly wanted. Meenu, is that an emotion that you're talking about? Okay, Sailaja, emotion of being disappointed or sad gives us an opportunity to look back at what went wrong and take amazing, beautifully said, Sailaja. Sorrow, in fact, or sadness, in fact, is one of the most important emotions, which unfortunately not many of us give importance to. The highest importance that we give to is the emotion of happiness. We all want to be only happy all the time. But the emotion of sadness actually has a very, very vital purpose to it. One, it keeps you healthy because you are able to remove all the pent up emotions outside. Second, it also helps you analyze what happened in the past, structure your emotional memory appropriately, and make new memories in your emotional brain to remember that this is a situation I did not like, this is a situation that did not make me feel good about things, and so I will be cautious, or I'll take care from here onwards. Hi Madhu auntie, thank you so much for joining. Okay, I'm going to go back and read some more comments there. Sailaja says, actually analyzing the situation. Yes, anger to do what we wanted to do sometimes. Yes, anger again is a very, very critical emotion. It actually helps you release all the negative toxins from your body, if you know that or not. So pent up anger is the worst for your health, your mental and your physical health. Pent up anger is extremely, extremely bad, extremely, extremely bad. So it's extremely essential for you to get it out of your system. So anger is basically an emotion that is telling you to release something, to let go of something. That's what anger is doing. It's actually pushing you to let go of something, to release an emotion, or to release all that pent up that you have. All right, we have Sayed Abbas joined us, and Karthik. Hello everybody, thanks for joining. Great. So let's now that we know that every emotion has some purpose to it and some use why these emotions happen to us. What emotion is the best then? Which emotion is the best? Anybody? Yes, pent up sadness or acceptance is also bad. Acceptance is not also or bad. Submissiveness can be very harming to our own self. We should not be completely submissive to everything. So acceptance is very good actually, But pent up or sorrow or pent up submissiveness, always giving without accepting anything in return, without taking anything in return, that can be bad for some people if you are not matured emotionally. That can impact us. Okay, so what is the best emotion? Nobody? Okay. Emotion is not only for human beings, it also for animals, because I feel they also express their feeling if they stay with our pet at home and go for some time, maybe for one day, but as we come back, they express feelings love. Absolutely. Definitely they do. So animals do have emotions. All mammals, like I said, actually do have emotions. They are not as developed as human emotions, Manish. So animals definitely have emotions. Amit, being in love, being content. Yes, that's the best emotion according to you. All right. That takes over kind of everything, right? Okay. Others, what's the best emotion? All the emotions are important and have their own purpose in making the best of us. Absolutely. That was exactly where I was getting to. Thanks, Salija, for putting that there. Because every emotion, as we have been discussing, has a purpose to it. We need to understand the purpose, we need to acknowledge the purpose of that emotion and accept that emotion. If we keep staying away from sorrow, if we keep avoiding sorrow or sadness, I'm feeling sad, but I'm kind of wanting to look happy. I'm kind of always forget. I don't want to pay attention to sorrow. I don't want to pay attention to the feeling of missing, resentment. I don't want to pay attention to those emotions. So that will only make me more miserable because I have not accepted. There's something empty. There's something incomplete within me, and that's why I will feel more miserable. So it's extremely important. All emotions are equal. No emotion is good or bad. We do tend to give more importance to happiness or feelings of joy or all those things. But yes, no emotion is really higher than any other emotion. All right, let me read some more comments here. Acceptance of self and others the way they are unconditionally, very, very difficult, yet the best. Um, okay, that's a different topic, Chandri. We can talk about it at a separate, video or discussion, because unconditional is also conditional at times. In my mind, in my experience, nothing is unconditional. You may not expect something or the same thing in return, but you may expect something, even if it is acknowledgement, even if it is human nature is to need. The need is to be accepted. Even if someone just tells you that, hey, you're doing very well, that is also you're getting something back. So there's nothing unconditional in my experience. When we achieve something which gives us a kick, okay, the feeling of achievement, the feeling of I've done it, great. So overall, what we have understood so far, that all emotions are important. We understood the definition of emotions. We also understood that why emotions are important, and we understood that all emotions have a purpose to it. No emotions is better than the other emotion. Okay. Now let me ask another question then. Is it important to express our emotion? And if yes, then why is it important to express an emotion? So I'll pause for the answers now. All right, I'm waiting, guys. Is it important for us to express an emotion? And if yes, then why is it important? Okay, so let me begin then. So if you remember in my last live also, while I was speaking about empathy, I spoke about this Coke example, that if you do not open the cap of the Coke and you keep shaking it, so the fizz inside is going to multiply, and sooner or later it's going to blast the bottle, right? The same thing happens with our body. when we do not express any emotion for that matter, it's not just negative or sorrow or sad emotions, not that only. Any emotion, if you don't express it, it harms your body internally, it harms your mental well-being, it harms your relationship, it impacts your decision making, it impacts your ability to analyze. Everything kind of gets impacted. So expressing an emotion is extremely, extremely essential. Pent up emotions will do more harm than good to anybody whatsoever. Some emotions, like I said, also have the sole purpose of these emotions is to actually vent out all that is pent up, all the built up that you have within yourself, and make you feel light. So many of you may have feel this surge of an emotion or urge of just speaking out something, blurting out something, and the moment you do that, you're kind of calmer, you feel lighter, right? So each emotion has a purpose. So that's how the body is the mind is communicating with the body that throw this out. So when you're angry, for example, the emotion is telling you that whatever you have within yourself, whatever is running in your head right now, please speak up. Please communicate it to somebody. That's what the indication is from the brain to your body, right? So that's the purpose of that emotion. So emotional expression in a nutshell is extremely important. Now, it's extremely essential then for us to observe our own emotions. That's the first step of becoming emotionally mature and working towards an emotional well-being. So we need to understand what are the emotions that probably I have the most. We started a chat also in the reach out group, and a lot of you responded there, right? So what is that emotion that you struggle with the most, and what are the triggers? Have you observed it? What makes you, let's say, happy, or makes you angry, or makes you extremely grateful towards somebody? What are those emotions? What aggravates this? Okay, what aggravates this emotion? So what are the triggers? What aggravates it? How does it impact you? What happens to your body? What happens to your surroundings? What happens to your mental well-being? What happens to your peace of mind? Have you seen yourself kind of going into a shell after this, or not talking to somebody when that emotion takes over? What does it do to you, right? And how does it impact your environment as well? I'll give you an example here, and then I would want all of you to share your emotions and what triggers it, and answer these questions there. So my emotion that I struggle the most with is anger. Okay. And interestingly, anger is an emotion that impacts me terribly, terribly, especially at a body level, at a physical level. So I am not very comfortable with handling anger. The moment I am angry, my body kinds of begins to shun it out. Okay, it doesn't allow me to speak to anybody. It doesn't want me to communicate with anybody. I kind of go extremely silent. That's my way of handling anger, which is not at all good. And I will fall sick, I will get fever, I will get headache, okay, and I will completely begin crying. So that is my anger management. I extremely, extremely struggle with anger. I don't get angry very usually, but if I have to, if there is a situation where I have to use the emotion of anger, I extremely struggle with it. So that's my emotion that I struggle a lot with. I don't like getting angry, and I don't get angry in general. But if I do get angry, and if I have to get angry in a particular situation, I have to use that emotion in a particular situation, I struggle a lot. So I struggle a lot with that. So that's my emotion. What is your emotion that you struggle a lot with? Let's talk about that now. Mine is anger. My body just doesn't let me get angry. What is yours? I'm waiting, guys. Let's do a time check. Meanwhile, good. We are at 4:35. We have a good 25 more minutes at least. I'm happy to increase and continue beyond 5 as well if we have more topics to discuss. So let me wait for your responses. What is the emotion that you struggle with the most? And what in your mind are the triggers? If you don't want to answer it right now, it is okay, and you can watch this video back later, or you can make notes and do this self introspection later as well. I'll repeat the questions. We are talking about listen to your own emotions, identify and observe what triggers it. What is what is triggering that particular emotion. Identify how does it impact you mentally and physically. How does it impact your environment, so people around you, your relationships, all of that. And what aggravates. These are some questions that you want to answer to understand this particular emotion of yours better. All right. My last question is, what can you do about this? Now, there is so much of emotions happening. Even if I understand it, what do I do with this emotion? I will, like, this is just the first discussion forum. We will talk more about, in detail, about emotional well-being. We'll talk more about emotional intelligence, and I'll give you a homework, by the way, and do complete that homework before the next discussion forum. We'll share the dates in advance. But here I will talk about some very basic things that we can do about emotions. So, in my mind, the first step to managing emotions is to accept, be aware, like what we were just doing. That I get angry at these situations, these are my trigger points, this aggravates it, this is what it does to my body, this is what it does to my mind, this is what it does to my emotional well-being, this is how it impacts my environment. Okay, so awareness about all these things, that's your first step. The second step is acceptance. Accepting that this is your struggle. When you accept, that is when you will be able to move to the third step, which is to be able to communicate and seek help. Okay, so in my case, for example, for my example that I gave, I communicated this to my family members, and I'll tell you this happened pretty recently, where I identified that I struggle a lot with being angry and my body kind of shuns it. We had a very interesting situation at home where a housemaid was being extremely rude and condescending and everything. She was being extremely harsh, extremely rude to me for no reason. Probably she was going through something, is what I could assess, and she was showing, or she was venting out all those emotions and all that anger at my place. Now that was disturbing me a lot, because I cannot, it just doesn't come naturally to me to shun somebody down, or to shout at somebody, or to be angry at somebody. So it was kind of impacting me a lot. And there did come a time when I kind of just paused and I broke out and I said that, okay, look, everything said and done, I can accept all mistakes, I can do everything, but I cannot accept this kind of an environment in my house. This is troubling for me. And anything that troubles me, this is my mantra of managing stress. Anything that troubles me, anything that increases stress for me, goes out of my mind, goes out of my life, goes out of my entire entity. It doesn't have to be around me at all. So that's my method of managing stress. So that is when I realized that I'm not good at. But the moment I had that conversation, actually, after that, I felt sick. I had an asthma attack, I had fever, and I was shivering, and I had extremely bad response from my body. And that's when I realized that anger is not an emotion I can handle very well. So I should avoid being angry as much as I can. And that's when I accepted it, I was aware, I accepted it, that it's not an emotion that I can handle very well. I'm not good at it, and I'm not going to kill myself to get good at it. So I communicated. Who do I communicate it to? I communicated this with my family. I communicated it to my son, my husband. I spoke to them and I told them, these kind of situations, please don't want, I don't want you to tell me to handle. So step up. You guys are better in handling anger or communicating when you're angry. I am not better communicating when I'm angry, so I'm not going to do this. I want your help in this particular situation. So that's what helped me. Another tip that I have for each one of us to avoid snapping, to avoid being reactive, is to pause. And an easier way to pause is to be slow at everything. Don't rush in doing everything. A lot of us live a very speedy life. I did at a point of time. And when you are very fast in everything that you're doing, be it in talking to people, be it in organize something, or anything, any activity that you're doing where you are very fast, you are paying lesser and lesser attention to your emotions then. And the lesser attention you pay to your emotions, the more probability of you snapping, the more probability of you being reactive. So be more observant, slow down, um, calm down, calm down your emotions. And if you feel that you're kind of getting jittery, you're kind of getting, hyper, sit down at a particular place, take a beautiful deep breath, and then leave it out. Take another deep breath and leave it out. That's the easiest way to calm yourself down. Why does it help you calm down? Is because two things. One, it increases the flow of oxygen into your head, so your brain starts getting more flow of blood as well, and it starts acting more responsibly. And second is your focus shifts from that emotion to your breath. And so those are the two reasons why you kind of calm down. Okay, there is an entire concept in neuroscience on why this snapping actually happens. And again, you can watch it on the videos of Dr. Daniel Goleman about emotional intelligence. There is a structure in our brain which is called amygdala. It's an almond shaped structure. And this amygdala is capable of hijacking your entire brain with emotions. Now, this amygdala is the culprit behind all your emotional outbursts. This is the culprit behind all your snapping, all your moments when you did something, you said something, and then immediately after a few seconds or few minutes, you said, oops, I should not have said that. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. And my favorite quote in that context is, if only second, life would be such a beautiful place, wouldn't it? Right? So pause, go slow. Know that there is an amygdala back there. You have the ability to manage it. You can manage it. Let me give you an example. Let's say you are driving on the road. Okay, who comes and bangs your car from the side. You get out extremely angry, and that person also opens the door of their car, and they come out, and you see that this person is a petite little short little person. So by physical appearance, your brain tells you that this is a person you can take control of, this is a person you can show your strength to. So your voice increases, you become more stronger, you appear to become more stronger, and you kind of thrash this person verbally. Verbal abuse happens there. Okay, let's replay this entire experience. Again, the car bang happens, you open the car, you come out, that other person opens the car, and now you see some 6 feet 5 inches 4 inches tall, great build, a bouncer kind of a looking person comes out of that car. What would be your response? Does it change? It does. It absolutely changes. You may just speak about it, or you may not, and you may walk away. So your mind has that ability to alter your emotions depending on your circumstances. So your mind was about to hijack, your amygdala was about to hijack your emotions, but there was one small level of emotional data point that your thinking brain sent to you, saying that this person can beat you up, right? And that helped you make the right decision of not venting out, of not doing a verbal abuse there. Okay, another example in the same situation, bang happens, you open the door extremely angry, you go and you open the door of the other person as well, and now you see it's your boss sitting there. Your entire emotion is going to change, guys. Everything is going to change. Or let's say your colleague also, like, what's wrong with you? If it's your colleague, you say, what's wrong with you? How do you drive them? Right? Or if it's your boss, sir, you, nice to see you, sir. Right? Your entire emotional stability at that time changes, it shifts. So this is proof that your brain has the ability, all of us has the ability to change my response to the same situation. It's just about that tiny little data point. It's just about being a little more observant, a little more tactical, a little more careful about what you're doing, what you're speaking, how you're speaking, and where you're going with that. Right? So those are some things that I would recommend. Be aware of your emotions, what are triggering these, what are increasing these, what are aggravating it, how does it impact your body, your mind. Sorry, I have a little cold there. So your body, your mind, your environment, how does it impact? Be aware of that. Number two, accept it, that yes, this is an emotion that you're struggling with, so accept it. Don't go overboard, just accept it and do as much as you can. Once you accept, communicate and seek help. Let people know. people who you can trust, people who are around you who can help you manage these emotions better. So communicate and seek help. And finally, go slow and pause at every moment, right? Pause more, go slow more, be more observant. That will help you send that tiny little data point to your thinking brain, from your thinking brain to your decision making brain, when there is an emotional hijack done by the amygdala, which I said is an almond structure in our brain, right? So that's what I had for today for all of you about understanding emotions. I hope this made sense, and I hope you learned something new. I'll now pause and I will wait for your questions or your comments. Okay, go on. Yes, your questions. Any comments about what we have just spoken? Time check, time check. Are you guys there with me still? Okay, we are at 47. So we still have around approximately 10 minutes to go. Guys, this is the only thing I don't like about FB lives. I can't communicate with you guys. I can't hear you back. And that's what I love doing the most. So if you're there, just write back, at least through messages. Let me know what you think about it. Otherwise, it's very boring looking at my own face and talking to myself. So come on, who is there? Do I have some of you there with me right now? Chandray, Amit, Himanshi, Soni, Nizam. So yeah, what do you think? Did this information help you? Do you have any questions around it? Or any comments? Anything that clicked? Yes, this is, now I know why this happens with me. Okay, I'm going to wait for a couple of minutes if you are typing. All right, while we do that, I'll do a quick recap of what we have spoken throughout. We spoke about defining emotions. One is that emotions are these feelings that tell us our response to a particular situation or circumstance. It tells us whether we should fight or we should flight. It helps us make decisions. It helps us navigate through the situation as well. Neurologically, I told you it's like communicating between these different parts of the brain. And in simple words, it is the communication between your mind and your body. So your mind is telling your body what exact action you should take. They are extremely important because they make us human, and these are signals that helps us to decide what do we want to do next, and it helps us keep balanced mentally. Okay, and there is no one single best emotion. Every emotion has a purpose to it, has a certain use of it. So make use of that emotion. Do not try to avoid any emotion. If you're feeling sad, if you feel like crying, please sit down and cry. It is okay to do that. Someone who cries is not emotionally weak. That person knows how to manage their emotion better. Okay, um, emotional expression, again, extremely essential, very important for you. Don't hold your emotions inside, vent it out. If it is crying or it is by talking to somebody, do that. Very essential. If you don't know what else to do, and anger is an emotion that you have, and you have a habit of kind of shouting out and all that, please buy a sandbag and keep boxing into it, or box yourself into a pillow if you need to. That's a good way of venting out your anger without hurting somebody else, without harming somebody else. And some steps that we spoke about on what you can do: listen to your emotions, understand your emotions better, observe, listen to what they're telling you to do. Identify what is triggering a particular emotion that probably you're struggling with, what activates it, how does it impact your body, mind, and your environment, and some things that you can do to manage your emotions better. Awareness, know what your emotions are and what impacts them. Two, accept them. Don't fight them away. Accept every emotion that you have around you at that particular moment. And then communicate. If you have a downside, or if you're struggling with a particular emotion, communicate and seek help. And finally, be slow. Pause a little more so that you can be more observant about your emotions. Okay? So that's pretty much from me. If you guys have any questions, they're going to stay around for another 2 minutes. If we don't have any more questions, we can end the live. Okay, can you at least give me a thumbs up so I know that you're there? Can you at least do that for me? And if it, okay, so let's do this. If this content, if this discussion helped you, give me a thumbs up. If it didn't help you, give me a thumbs down. Let's use emoticons. I know you all are very good at it. Let's use emoticons. Helped, didn't help. Okay, so I got one like there. Put it in the message, guys. That's how I'll know it better. Put it in the message. Put it in the comment section. Put your emoticons in the comment section. If you have any feedback of what you would want to hear more for the next session and how we can do it differently, please write that as well. We'll mull over it. Thanks, Chandri. Yes. I'm not even reading that, Chandri. It was helpful. We'll get back. Thank you. We suppress our emotions as we do not want to hurt people. Is it correct? Yes. And in the larger scheme of things, Amit, we do not express our emotions because it's lesser about hurting people and it's more about what will happen next. Will that person leave me, or how that person is going to react? So the fear of losing somebody, or the fear of getting a retaliation, or the fear of being questioned, the fear of being judged, those things are actually the reasons why we suppress our emotions. Hi Avnish, thanks for joining. Himanshi, no questions, but you did it very well. Thank you. Hi Sandeep, thanks for joining. Hi Sriram. Amit, our comments are taking more to reach you. Yes, it is actually taking a lot of time. I'm reading all these comments now. Thanks, Amit. Murli, hi, welcome. How to stop overthinking? Okay, I'll answer that question in a moment. Soni, hi, Samta. Thank you, Chandri. Hi, Sujata. I did not watch the complete session. I'll watch post the session. Thank you so much. Sure. Okay, it's really helped. Actually, I cried a lot. Now, did you cry now, Himanshi, or you normally cried? Okay, great. So let me answer Sony's question. Sony, why do we overthink? How to stop overthinking? In my mind, the biggest way of avoiding overthinking is to ask yourself two questions. One, what is it going to help you with? And what is it going to get you? So, are you benefiting out of it? If yes, what is that benefit? If sometimes overthinking is extremely helpful. Sometimes overthinking gets you to negotiate better. Sometimes overthinking can also help you get more creative. You have achieved something where no, I'm not happy with this. I want to think more. I want to evaluate more. So that can help you be more innovative. It can help you become more creative. So overthinking can be actually helpful at times. But so ask yourself, is this actually getting you somewhere? What is the purpose of this overthinking? Is it getting you somewhere? It's going to benefit you in some manner. And if it's not going to benefit you in some manner, then you will have to pause somewhere. You'll have to stop if it's not helping you. At the same time, if it is impacting your emotional well-being, then please pause. Please stop immediately. Anything that is impacting your emotional well-being is not worthy of investing any time or energy into it. The most precious thing to you, yourself, should be your peace of mind. And if your peace of mind is getting impacted by anything whatsoever, I repeat, anything whatsoever, if your peace of mind is getting impacted, please stop immediately. Abort, 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 right? So completely stop immediately. Do not go into that particular discussion or emotion, anything whatsoever. I did have a question earlier from Minu. Minu, if you are still there, please explain your question and I would love to answer that for you. We are not getting what we wanted, something like that. I think you mentioned. I'm not able to go back further up into the comments right now. Hi Varun, thanks for joining. Hello Anjali. Okay, so you guys have joined a little late. We are almost on the verge of closing the session. To go back and watch the session from the very beginning, and I hope it was helpful. I hope it can make a difference in your emotional maturity. And please, please, please do like my page, Love, Live, Learn. If you want to be more engaged on emotional well-being, then join our group, Reach Out Emotional Well-being, and do like and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. You can look at that from my Love, Live, Learn page. Help me reach out to more people. This is not something that I'm charging for. This is not a profession that I'm trying to make here. It's a passion. I want to reach out to more and more people and help out as much as I can out of my own learnings, out of my own experiences. And we will, over the period of time, for these discussions as well for you. It's not always going to be me who's going to speak, so you will hear some other experts as well. All of these who want to make a difference, to people's lives. So that's what we were trying to do here. So do connect with me either on Love, Live, Learn or on the group that I spoke about, and do like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, like I said. Now, time for the homework, like I said, and I would really, really, really request you all to watch this. I am highly encouraging you all to watch two things. One, I've started a video series on stress management. So watch that 5-6 minute video that also has an activity after that video. So join that activity. It's going to help you in a step-by-step manner to manage your stress if you have any, or to avoid it in the future as well. So do that. Second, watch this movie if you have, or if you haven't. Watch this animated movie Inside Out. Animated movie Inside Out. This is the best movie in my mind that depicts the importance of every emotion in our lives. An amazing movie. Even if you have watched it, please watch it again. In my next discussion forum, we will, or in the next FB Live, we will discuss more about this video or this movie as well. So please watch Inside Out movie, and I'll catch up with you guys next time. Take care till then. Keep spreading love. Bring out the compassionate you. Ensure you are doing more for people than you're doing for yourself. So that will make you feel good as well. All right. Stay safe, guys. Love you all, and stay connected. We don't want social distancing. We really want only physical distancing, right? Varun, you should be able to find this movie on YouTube. I'll see if I can find the link and I'll share it with you. If I can find it in Amazon Prime or on Netflix, let me search for that as well. Good question. But amazing, amazing movie. Definitely a must watch. Thank you so much, guys. Take care again. And till such time, I'm trying to do something every weekend. I am kind of dedicating a couple of hours of my weekend every weekend. So I will see you again next. And Arfeen, you can watch the video on my page, Love, Live, Learn. So if you go and like the page, you will see all my video links there to the YouTube channel. Okay. Thank you, Sony. See you guys. Bye-bye. Take care.